Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at a couple of upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an aspect of the race that might lead us to finding the winner. Well, a very interesting 11 race card on Sunday at Sha Tin, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 9, where our winning factor is the draw. So this is an interesting Class 3, 1800 metres. 12 of the 14 runners here are 4-year-olds, and the second tier 4-year-olds in my view, but I think they will have designs, many of them, on trying to grab a race in the Classic Cup next start, or even the Derby after that. So it's a highly competitive race that everyone will be wanting to win, and I think there are plenty of claims for several horses coming off unlucky runs like Low Rider, Lupo Solitario, or Legend St Paul's backing up from that horror run last week. Silvery Breeze has finally drawn a good gate again, and I suspect we could see big improvements from horses like Enthralled and Midori Giant. And I've settled on two key lead-up races for this. The first of them on January 12, 1600 metres, where our main focus is going to be on Silvery Breeze, but there were also runs here from Midori Giant and Fortunate Son that were better than how it looks in the form guide. So let's go to race 345. Gate 4 green colours, Midori Giant is slow away. Fortunate Son, gate 9 with darkish blue colours. And gate 11, our main focus, silver and blue colours, is Silvery Breeze. None of them are amongst the early leaders and drifting back to the second half of the field. Now the key point about this race is what we see on the heat map. The pace is even until near the first turn at the 800 metres, where the leaders pick it up significantly as runners come around the outside, and that increased speed gives a drag into the race for those at the back. In the straight, well, Fortunate Son and especially Silvery Breeze towards the outside run into some traffic. Silvery Breeze having to wait until the eventual winner, Dragon Joy, gets past him before he can get clear, and then he finishes off well. And back on the inside there you saw Midori Giant in those green colours finishing on well at the end as well. So a bunched, messy sort of a finish. Not normally what we're looking for as the ideal race to follow. But I did want to highlight that effort from Silvery Breeze, who's had a number of starts now in Hong Kong, has yet to run a bad race, fast or slow. And he was again one of the highlight runners just 9 days ago, when he ran on the Lunar New Year meeting. This is race 395, he's in gate 12 here. And we're also looking at Legend St Paul's, light blue colours, gate 2. And I also want to put a spotlight on Enthralled, gate 10, red and yellow colours. So Enthralled is taken straight back to the rear at the start. Zach Purton is ultimately forced to go right back with Silvery Breeze too. Legend St Paul's, well, he's a horse with gate speed, but Derek Lung elects not to lead. That has a big consequence later for him. Again, the heat map tells a story. The first 3 sections here, all more than 3 lengths slower than average. The final 400 metres exceptionally fast. As a result, the field doesn't break up. There are traffic problems for Packing Turbine in the dark blue and white rather, but especially Legend St Paul's, who never ever gets clear room. But I also want you to note Silvery Breeze finishing well down the outside and Enthralled making up ground near the rail. Now that's what we often call a poor form race, not because the horses in it aren't very good, but because of the circumstances of the race might not be easy to replicate, and therefore the form itself probably won't work out when they meet in the future. Nevertheless, despite it being very difficult in the circumstances to make up ground, I've highlighted a couple that did run on, Enthralled, and also Silvery Breeze, who, as I said, it doesn't seem to matter what circumstances he meets, he runs a good race. Now, I think this race on Sunday, for reasons I've mentioned earlier, it's going to be a bit more competitive. I think we'll find the usual leaders here, Pray for Mir and California Totality. But in the middle of the draw, we've also got a number of horses who might be looking to take positions, including the former South American horse, All Cash. Now, he raced forward overseas, showed pace in a trial in November. He hasn't been near the lead in his two 1400 metre runs for various reasons, but with cheek pieces going on and a rise in distance, I think we'll see him as a surprise forward runner here in that middle group. Silvery Breeze, well, he also looks a different proposition on the map, drawing low after 3 starts with double-figure gates. He wasn't far off the leaders at 1400 when he won his debut in Hong Kong Gate 1, so I think Zac Purton will be trying to use that Gate 2 draw to advantage. But the tip from me in race 9, Silvery Breeze. His winning factor, the draw. For so many reasons, this is a very interesting race, mostly of the 4-year-olds. But this horse was handy when he won his first start from a good draw. He's had to deal with difficult draws since then, but has still run well and everything. Now he gets a good gate again, and I think that makes him the one to beat. The other race I want to take a look at is race 11, where our winning factor is the map. This is a Class 3 1400 metres, and yes, it is that time of the season that 4-year-olds are all the focus, and I think that's where we're looking again here. Certainly mostly. I think 3 of them will have strong followings here. Sky Trust for Hugh Bowman, Zac Purton's ride Master of My Universe, and Jamie Richards trained Storming Dragon, with a little knockout chance at the foot of the handicaps to an older horse, Power Kep, from a better draw. But the serious spotlight this race is going to be on Sky Trust and Master of My Universe. So let's have a look at what they've been doing. First of all, Master of My Universe, race 344, Gate 8, pink colours, and he's one of the last to begin, which is what we've seen from him so far, and therefore he settles past midfield, wide with some cover. The pace isn't especially good to begin with, but does improve mid-race, and so does Master of My Universe, working forward steadily, approaching the straight. Now, the horse does show a few signs of his inexperience, but when Zac Purton asks him to go, he produces a good turn of acceleration to get the front, then holds on to it, albeit narrowly. Now, no fancy margin there if you took the odds on Master of My Universe, but it's worth noting those 2 horses close to him in the finish, both very experienced horses, tough, battle-hardened. They don't have his talent, but they're certainly worthy opponents, and Master of My Universe has only had the 4 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and he's got scope to go higher. Sky Trust, well, he's flown under the radar to some extent during his career so far. He's had 14 starts, so he's had plenty of looks at the racetrack. He's won 3 times, but also been in the first 4 another 8 times. So he's certainly been very consistent, mostly racing up on the speed. But last start, it was a change of tactics. Hugh Bowman rode him quietly, and I think this gave us a much better look at the horse that Sky Trust might become. So this is race 364, Gate 12, green and yellow colours, and Sky Trust begins well, and probably he thinks he's going to go towards the lead, as he has done before, but look at Bowman. Now, he's actively sitting against this horse, giving a different message to relax and settle. He gets back amongst the tail enders and a touch wide, but Sky Trust does look happy enough once he's got the message. Now, the leaders go an average tempo early, slow up around the circle, leaving them with a little bit of sprint for the run down the straight, but the superior talents are the horses running at them at the 200 metres. A Bundle Award chimes in and wins the race, but Sky Trust is huge late, all but chasing him down. Now, that performance makes me believe that Sky Trust could be a sneaky, late arriving chance for the Derby. That was a much better performance than we've seen from him when he's raced forward. However, that's a bit of a double-edged sword when we look at the map for Sunday's race, because it looks a race lacking tempo. Beauty Glory, he's the most likely leader, though there is some speed from Power Kep stepping up in distance. Test for Love is back in distance, but was very prominent at his first start. Keefe and perhaps even Storming Dragon could be handy. This looks a moderately run race. So the question for Bowman on Sky Trust now from an inside draw is whether to restrain him as he did last time, looking for that same big finish, or be more positive as he has done previously in this sort of scenario successfully, and he's even led and won, and take the tactical initiative. Maybe there's a third way. I can see Bowman putting Sky Trust at the corner of tactical nous and relaxation, and getting him to finish off from just off the back of the lead group this time, knowing that whatever he does, I think the main horse he has to beat, who we've seen doesn't begin all that well, Master of My Universe, is going to be well behind him. So the tip from me in race 11 is Sky Trust, his winning factor, the map. Now, it has to be said, the map isn't perfect for either of these two standout runners. However, Sky Trust has shown some versatility that we haven't yet seen from Master of My Universe. He's got an inside draw, and even if he loses part of that big finish that we saw ridden back, he's still going to have the tactical advantage over his major rival. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.